Roxo Media House.
From the Roxo Media House studios here in Fort Worth, this is Frogs Today. Another busy week for our Horned Frog teams with just about every single program in action this week and into the weekend. Starting with our number 18 ranked volleyball team getting another win on the road at Texas Tech on Wednesday, sweeping the Red Raiders and return to the Shoal on Saturday at 1 p.m. for their annual Dig Pink match. Women's soccer remained unbeaten in Big 12 play and at the top of the conference with a win on the road yesterday against UCF and are on their way to Iowa State today to match up against the Cyclones on Sunday in Ames. Soccer launched into the top 10 and number 8 after two big home wins last week. The bye week is over for our Horned Frog football team and they are in Salt Lake City for their Big 12 game against Utah tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Fort Worth time. They have been practicing like they're 6-0 for the past 2 weeks as the second half of their season gets started tomorrow on ESPN. Men's and women's cross country look to continue their dominating start to the season, and congrats to Coach Roger Cook on the birth of his new baby girl. The teams travel to Texas A&M this weekend along with the swim and dive team who head to College Station as well. Congrats to our number 3 ranked triathlon team on their second place finish at the East Regional last weekend, and two of their stars, Amanda Moro and Vivian Diaz, travel to Spain this week to the U23 and Junior World Championships. Equestrian also holds strong at number 3 with their 8-game Big 12 win streak over the past 2 seasons as they defeated Baylor last week and look to make it 9 at Fresno State today. It's Friday, October 18th, and I'm your host, Luke Swan from Men's Tennis.
And I'm Pedro Vives with tennis as well. Our women's tennis team finished up ITA regionals at the beginning of the week, and 4 of our men's players are in Waco today through Tuesday for the ITA Texas Regional at Baylor.
Women's golf is down a little further south at the Jim West Challenge in San Marcos Sunday and Monday, while beach volleyball is in Manhattan Beach this weekend. Our number 1 ranked women's rifle team gets going again on Sunday at Georgia Southern, and Baseball Floorball World Series starts a week from today.
Big 12 basketball media days start next week, on Tuesday for the women and Wednesday for the men, at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. We got a little hoops preview as they are halfway through the preseason, with games starting up in November.
Frog fans, we get you started with football, volleyball, and soccer after a word from our sponsor, Richard's Rainwater. The best tasting water comes straight from the sky, leaving just pure, refreshing raindrops in every bottle. Taste the difference, sip the sky.
What do you see when you look up at the clouds? At Richard's Rainwater, we see the greatest source of pure, delicious water looking right back down at us. We've invented a simple, powerful technology to collect and bottle rainwater. Our process begins with the rain. When clouds become saturated, droplets fall from the sky. Rainfall is a naturally cleansing event. During the first few minutes, the raindrops clean the atmosphere and wash away any dirt or debris from surface areas. At this cleanest point in the rain cycle, we collect the pure raindrops into large storage vessels. Then, we use a simple, yet effective combination of ozone and microfiltration to ensure our rainwater surpasses the highest drinking water standards. We pour the pure, refreshing rainwater into glass bottles and aluminum cans, packaging as infinitely renewable as the water itself. Richard's Rainwater is building a network of collection systems across the country to ensure our rainwater is local everywhere. The purest, best-tasting water comes from the sky. Richard's Rainwater, sip the sky.
We are back in the Roxo Media House studios here in Fort Worth, and I'm your host, Luke Swan with TCU Men's Tennis, defending national champion men's tennis to be exact. Football is back after a 3-3 start for Sonny Dykes and his team, but the 6-0 practice mentality is present daily. After a 30-19 loss to Houston beginning of the month, the Frogs had a bye week and 2 full weeks to prepare for their next opponent, preseason favorite Utah. Coach Dykes on his State of the Frogs coaching show talked about what the preparation has been like during the bye week.
Guys showed up with a great work ethic, determination. We've had a really great week the week before this week from practice standpoint. You know, our guys really came out, practiced hard. We had a lot of fundamental things we had an opportunity to focus on. It's pretty clear what we need to improve on. Obviously, we've got to quit turning the football over and create some turnovers defensively. That's been kind of the name of the game. When for us, when we've won games and played well, we've taken care of the ball and created some turnovers and negative plays. And when we haven't played well, it's been turnovers. And so we've got to do a good job. Obviously, we've tried to address it in a lot of different ways, and I think our guys certainly understand where we need to improve, and I feel like we've gotten a lot better.
Starting strong, winning the turnover battle, and finding a way to carry over the practice intensity and energy to the game are critical for the Frogs against Utah.
I think the big thing for us is just getting settled in the ball games. It just seems like we got off to such a bad start a couple of games that we've tried to force things to try to get back in the game, and that's led to turnovers. And so it's going to be important for us to get off to a good start Saturday. It's going to be that's going to be really important, and take a little pressure off of guys where they can just go out and do their jobs and perform and not play with so much self-created pressure.
How does the team go about not turning over the ball and getting some takeaways of their own?
You get what you emphasize in coaching, and so we started with emphasis. We've done a lot of turnover circuits. We've done turnover drills. A lot of it comes down to quarterback taking care of the football, and spent a lot of time with him talking about the importance to get the ball thrown on time, just making decisions when it comes to when to try to force things, when to do a good job of taking what the defense gives you.
In 2011, Dykes was the head coach at La Tech with the same issues turning over the ball, and with a 1-4 start, that area was addressed and went on to win out with 7 consecutive wins and a WAC championship for the first time since 2001 and a trip to the Poinsettia Bowl against, TCU. The Frogs won that one though, 31-24.
Back in 2011, 2012, when you were at La Tech, you had a similar instance where the offense looked good, the turnovers were hurting the team, and something came about and it ended up turning into a conference championship team.
Yeah, we had a kind of the same situation. We were at 1-4 and had lost a couple of games that we should have won because we turned the football over and had an open date and kind of just sat down and tried to do the same thing we did this week and take a look at where we need to improve and what we got to do to quit turning it over. And to the players' credit back then, we went on and won the rest of the 7 games, 5 of which were on the road and against pretty good opponents. And went to Ole Miss and won, went to Fresno State and won with David Carr and Devontae Adams, went to Nevada who won and won there. They had a great long home winning streak. And it all began by us just turning the football, Quinn stopped turning the football over and forced people to beat us. And I think right now in some games we're kind of beating ourselves. And so that team ended up winning the last 7 games of that season. That emphasis continued into the offseason through the first 10 games of the next year, and I think we started the season 8-1 or 9-1 and won 16 out of 17. Absolutely. And so and won the turnover battle in every one of those games. And so that's going to be the big thing for us is just trying to get one win, trying to figure out a way to go on the road and beat a good football team. And again, it's going to be important to win the turnover margin.
TCU cornerback JT or JaTravis Broughton played 5 years at Utah, and he spoke to the media team this week.
Man, it's a blessing. I'm excited to play with my old teammates. It's all love, so being able to go and get some, it's going to be a fun game. Man, them boys got grit. They take pride in their special teams, really all phases of the ball, so we can't go there slouch or lazy. We got to show up and ready to play. Man, that environment, just being in that stadium in the mountains, it's one of a kind for real. And now they didn't close the dome in there, so it just gets louder. And they always bring the crowd. The Mud State true fans. Salt Lake City is like their NFL team, so they always come ready to show out. We just took one day at a time, one step. I definitely feel confident, feel great about our defense going in, so I'm just excited. It's going to be a hard-hitting game. They're a big run team, so we're going to have to be able to stop the run and show up on the pass game. Man, just taking it one game at a time, really just starting fast. That's what has been a problem for us, so being able to start fast and just finish because, with these 6 games, we still got a lot of games to play, so, it's not over.
Utah will be without starting quarterback Cam Rising and have lost 2 in a row.
Good football team. They've lost 2 in a row. They're going to be really motivated. That's something that hasn't really happened to their program a whole lot. They were the preseason pick to win the Big 12. Pretty substantial preseason pick to win the Big 12. Very talented football team. That tells you what kind of talent they've got on the team. A big physical team that's accustomed to winning. And so it'll be a big challenge for us. I mean, crowd will be excited. It's going to be a late night game. It'll be loud. You know, the students do a tremendous job at the games of creating a great home field atmosphere. Mm-hmm. So it'll be a big challenge for our guys. Our guys are excited about the opportunity to go play against a really good team on the road. And you know, we're optimistic that we're going to go play well.
Horned Frog football is one of the top teams on third down and red zone offense. The game is scheduled to kick off at 9:30 p.m. Fort Worth time and televised on ESPN, the fourth nationally televised game so far this season. Now on to volleyball news. Returning home to the Shoal tomorrow to take on Cincinnati after a 3-match road swing, going 2-1 with their most recent sweep of Texas Tech on Wednesday, head coach Jason Williams is pleased with the TCU volleyball brand on the road.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of just the staff reminding them like road wins are tough, you know, and I think I stayed on them about like, hey, I haven't won easily here many times, you know, and it just, hey, we got to get in and out, you know, when you're on the road, you want to get in and out in 3 because a potential win in 3 could turn into a loss in 5 really fast. So, yeah, we jumped out on them pretty quick and then was able to finish them off. We feel like our serving is getting better in terms of like efficiency, but when you look at the stats in terms of like scoring and we use a formula called knockout percentage of just like how much are we knocking them out of system, and we're kind of towards the bottom in conference, which is strange considering defensively we're kind of towards the top in conference. So we've been putting a little more pressure on our servers to try to be a little more effective as opposed to just serving in. So I like to take the risk. I want to serve tough because I think that really knocks them out, you know, and obviously Melanie is our green light server. She'll go for it. But yeah, we just have been serving a little tougher and in more. And I think that's putting some pressure on some guys.
Frogs Today was able to get some sound from Williams and middle blocker Sarah Sylvester at practice this week to talk about the national respect the team has been getting and the excitement to get back home.
I mean, it's great. I think that's always where we wanted this program to be, a respectable program and someone that's going to be a deep tournament team every year, continuing on from now. And so I think that's a great thing that we're being able to just hang in there in the rankings and just another chance to keep proving that we are a top 16, top 15 team, and then just hopefully being able to stay there and be able to host at the end of the year.
For sure. I think it's twofold. I think everybody respects Utah, right? They probably didn't know how good they were right up until this week. And then most of the coaches hopefully saw that we were out 3 to 4, you know, players that normally play. And I've told the team, like, hey, if you can get into the teens or higher, right? Like if you take bad losses, you get bumped out of the top 25. But if you win the matches you should win, you win some good ones, and you just lose 1 or 2 here and there, like we can stay here the rest of the year. So, you know, bummer that we didn't beat Utah, but we still have Kansas and K-State coming up, and we got to focus on Tech and Cincinnati this week. So plenty of opportunities to still keep climbing the rankings.
Yeah, I think it's pink out this weekend, so that's always a super exciting game, but Shoal's going to be great. It's going to be great to come back and play in there and see like all the little girls that are going to come and just like the Fort Worth people that love to be there. So yeah, it's exciting to come back and play in the Shoal.
Good luck to the ladies tomorrow. First serve is at 1 p.m. and it is the Dig Pink game at the Schollmeyer. Women's soccer keeps climbing and now into the top 10 at number 8 ahead of another Big 12 win over UCF yesterday to remain unbeaten in Big 12 play at 7-0-2 at the top of the conference. They take on Iowa State in Ames on Sunday. Stay with us, Frog fans. We got equestrian, cross country, men's and women's tennis, and basketball when we return. We will be right back.
You know, we wouldn't be able to do the things we were able to do this year without the Flying T Club. So we got to continue to get people involved. It's more important right now than it's ever been.
Flying T is special. It's the best thing that I've encountered in college. It allows us to be able to offset a lot of the costs that our scholarships aren't able to cover. If people like winning, invest in the Flying T Club and NIL. This is really great for athletes and just for future students who want to come here and be a part of something special, man. I just think it's great.
It just means a lot to us players to see all the support, and it's huge.
At Higginbotham, we put people first. So we simply start by listening to you. Whether you're searching for customized insurance, HR, or financial solutions to protect your home, car, health, business, or employees, our specialists are here to serve you. the people you care about, and your success. Higginbotham, Insurance, HR, and Financial Services. Inspired by you.
We are back at the Roxy Media House studios here in Clear Fork, and I'm Pedro Vives from men's tennis. Number 3 equestrian looks to keep their Big 12 win streak to 9 as they take on Fresno State on the road this morning. They most recently beat Baylor in the final home game of the fall season, and over the next 3 weekends, they head on the road. When they return this weekend, they travel to Dallas to take on SMU, who they lost to in the national championship last season, but avenged their loss in the first game of this year, at home beating the Mustangs in a tiebreaker 11-10. They finished the fall season at Texas A&M the beginning of November. Women's tennis, after a solid start to the season, on the road and finally back home last week hosting the ITA Regionals, have themselves in the top 25 and number 23 after quarterfinal singles appearances from Jade Otway and Tommy Main. And in doubles, number 2 seed Tommy Main and Yuki Sai finished as runners-up in the doubles main draw. Our men's team is starting our ITA Texas Regional, which is hosted by Baylor, today through Tuesday. The regional gives our boys a chance to qualify for the NCAA Individual National Championships, which was moved to the fall this year. Louis Maxted and myself qualified the NCAA's Singles Championships last week at the ITA All-Americans, and we have 4 more of our teammates looking to qualify this week: Julian Alonso, Philip Appletower, Duncan Chan, and Kai Quirines. Singles finalists and doubles champions earn automatic berths. Duncan and Kai and Julian and Philip will pair up in doubles. Moving on to men's and women's basketball. The men took to the Shoal on Tuesday afternoon in an open practice where TCU students got to watch for free. Head coach Jamie Dixon gives us his expectations.
We want to lead the country in fast break points. We want to score quicker, get the ball up the floor after made baskets when the other team scores. In the half court, we want a dead ball situation. We want to execute better. And then defensively, we got to take it up a notch. We've got to get better ball pressure. We've got to be better on ball screen coverage. Nothing really revolutionary here, but we've got to be better at it if we want to be at the top of the league.
Mark Campbell started his first season as women's head coach for the Frogs at 14-0. And now, in his second season, we get the scoop on how he deals with those expectations.
Yeah, no doubt. Last year was the best start in school history. And hey, if somehow we manage to do that again, it will be a magical start, because I saw a thing yesterday that we have a top 10 preseason non-conference schedule, and it's loaded, and a whole bunch of tough competitive games. I think 3 of the games are against top 10 teams in the country, with NC State, South Carolina, and Notre Dame. And so we're going to learn a lot. I mean, it's awesome for our program to get to compete against those teams. Our kids are excited. But the whole preseason, it's a juggernaut, and so we got our work cut out.
Halfway through the preseason, Campbell, returning Madison Connor, and transfer star and Olympic medalist Haley Van Lith give us the pulse of the team.
Yeah, great energy. It's fun putting the puzzle together and getting this new group, to play the game the right way offensively. It's really fun because of the firepower we got. Trying to create tempo, play a lot faster than we did last year, and started putting in our press today. So we got a lot of work to do before we tip off on the 5th. But I like where we're at right now.
I feel like we're gelling really well. We're playing really well together, kind of just trying to fine-tune the little things, fine-tune the defense. The offense is rolling, obviously, but just trying to get a whole group and 5 of us to get on the court and play together the right way.
It's been going really well, making progress every day. That's all you can ask for. So I'm happy with where we're at, but we also know that we can get better from here to November 5th.
Van Lith has an Olympic bronze medal, Elite 8, and Final 4 appearances. With that experience and the current setting here at TCU, what were those experiences like, and what will it take to get to the tournament and make a deep run?
It's a unique experience. It's unique to every team. So when I think back on them, mostly what I remember is like how much I just enjoyed the people that I was around. Like my Final 4 run, I just love that group of people, some of my best friends to this day. So, that's what you really remember. And I think we have another great group of girls. Like, I love being around them. The team chemistry is great. So, we'll see.
With an opportunity to play against someone different in Texas A&M over the weekend, Connor talks about that performance and what it is like being part of this team for her second season after transferring from Arizona before last season.
Yeah, it was really good. It kind of exposed some of our weaknesses just because we're used to things and used to the certain players that we play against in practice every day, so we kind of get used to their tendencies. So playing against somebody else definitely exposed some things so that we can work on that before real games start.
Yeah, it was good for us. We learned a lot about ourselves. It's hard to go against each other every day, so it was a great new environment for us. We learned what we still need to get better at. We learned what we're doing really well at. It's great film for us, so we'll learn from it.
Van Lith took a lot from the Olympic experience. What is she expected to bring to TCU from that experience, and how does that experience rank up with the Elite Eights and Final Fours?
Honestly, our offense is very similar to 3-on-3 structure. We play a lot of pick and roll with two guards and a big, and so that's what I did in 3-on-3. So actually a lot of it has carried over to our offensive style here, but just defense, my conditioning, my ability to make reads and passes, that has all translated for me. So the Olympics was a great prep for me to come into this team this year, so I'm excited to see, how it helps me. The Olympics is different, also because I was so young. When in college, I'm playing with a bunch of girls my age, but in the Olympics, I was 10 years younger than one of my teammates. So it's a different experience, but winning is winning, and you learn that qualities and characteristics are the same across any level. So despite the fact that I was in Paris and I was playing 3-on-3 and not 5-on-5, the qualities and the principles are the same.
Campbell fills us in with what he wants the identity of the team to consist of.
Yeah, this year we want to be one of the most up-tempo, fast-paced teams in college basketball. We want to push the pace and get after people 94 feet this year, so completely different than last year, but we have so many weapons, so much talent. We want to make sure we utilize it, and so we're working through that right now and figuring out how to best use everybody's talents and gifts, but it's going to be a show. It's going to be fun and exciting basketball.
Big 12 Media Days is next Tuesday and Wednesday, with the women kicking it off first on Tuesday from the T-Mobile Center. Frogs Today will be there to get you all the hoop scoop, and we'll also bring you next week's Frogs Today episode on location right there from the Big 12 Basketball Media Days in Kansas City. More news from cross country, swim and dive, triathlon, women's golf, beach volleyball, rifle, and baseball football is underway. All that after we do this.
Welcome to the Squire Shop.
We are locally owned and operated since 1994.
We specialize in the finest men's clothing that the market has to offer at affordable prices with unbelievable service.
We do custom clothing all the way to more casual, Peter Millar, Johnny O, kind of everything. Well, my dad's the owner, so I've been around retail my whole life. Oh, it's great. I mean, it's the best boss I'll ever have. I know that.
We love our TCU community. They have been so good to us. Come see us today. Go Frogs!
Welcome back, Frog fans, in the new Roxo Media House set. The athletic department is busy as always. Men's and women's cross country, along with swim and dive, will make their way to College Station for the meets.
Triathlon has two athletes heading to Spain this week for the Under-23 and Junior World Triathlon Championships. Amanda Moro and Vivian Diaz. At number 3 nationally, the ladies are preparing for the National Championship in Claremont, Florida.
Women's golf are in San Marcos at the Gym West Challenge, back next week for the Charles Schwab Challenge at Ridgely Country Club, while beach volleyball heads to the Manhattan Beach Pairs Tournament this weekend.
Our number 1 ranked women's rifle team is the Georgia Southern on Sunday. They are 1-0 on the season as they defeated number 8 Navy and VMI in September. Baseball football continues with the Purple White World Series starting next week, and we will have that coverage for you as the winner gets to play some golf with the runners-up on the back.
Before we go, we want to mention that Frogs Today will be at the Big 12 Basketball Media Days in Kansas City next week, and next week's episode will be on location at the T-Mobile Center in downtown KC, bringing you all the preseason news and updates for our basketball teams, including Schollmeyer Live, the preseason basketball kickoff event featuring 6-time Grammy Award nominee and 2017 winner for the best rap performance in my favorite song, I'm Different, 2 Chainz, will perform on Friday, October 25th. That's all we've got for you this week. We wish everyone good luck this weekend, including our boys in Waco at the ITA Texas Regional. Thanks for joining us today. Stay connected with all of the TCU athletics right here at Frogs Today. For TCU men's tennis, or should I say, defending national champions men's tennis, I'm Luke Swan.
For everyone here at the Roxy Media House, for Frogs Today, I'm Pedro Vives. This has been Frogs Today for Friday, October 18th. Thanks for watching. Go Frogs! Bye!
Roxo Media House.